Hello, I'm Austin. Welcome to Cars and Cigars, and this is a YUGO. This is my personal 1986 YUGO, and ever since they were imported in 1985, people all over have been calling them the worst car ever made. And is it? Well, it could be, but in order to understand that, we have to take a look back at its history. So in 1985, Malcolm Bricklin brought the YUGO into the United States at a selling point of $3,990, making it the lowest priced new vehicle in the United States. And it also had the lowest top speed at, I believe it was 87 miles an hour. When the YUGO first hit the market in 1985, it was, really popular because it was something the average Joe could afford. It was a brand new car that started out at below $4,000. The YUGO was built in Yugoslavia by a company called Zestiva, a former arms manufacturing company. And over the course of the first 3 years in the United States, it sold over 160,000 units, which is not a small number. And the fact that there's none on the road today really tells to how bad the build quality was. When it first came out, people thought that, because it was so cheap, they could treat it as a disposable car. Routine maintenance like oil change, timing belts, new tires, stuff like that, it didn't happen because they felt like they were putting more money into something that wouldn't last. And that ultimately became its undoing, was people just didn't take care of them. See, mine, it has over 100,000 miles, and it's in perfect condition. It's all original. The engine's, it's not powerful, but it's there. It's running, and the transmission, the 4-speed manual transmission runs perfectly, and it's a good car. It's my daily driver, not on the interstate. I live in Atlanta, where if I drove this on the interstate, I would get probably shot. But I drive this all over town as my daily driver, and I love it. Is the YUGO really as bad as everybody says it is? It got into America, which is more than most foreign cars can say, because it passed emissions, it went through the government loopholes, it went through the crash tests, so it's not bad. It's not bad in comparison to the Skodas and stuff like that over in Eastern Europe, and like Trabants and stuff like that. It's not bad like those, but it's bad in comparison to what the American market was used to. But now we're going to take it on a drive. We're going to figure out just why everybody says it was so bad. Alright, so off we go. So, when driving at least my YUGO, so I consider my YUGO the quintessential YUGO experience. What normally shouldn't work doesn't work. The speedo doesn't work, nothing on the dash works, like none of the gauges work. So I don't have to worry about, I don't have to worry about looking at them. But that also means I don't know my speed, but luckily with, the about 40 horsepower I get from it, I can't go over the speed limit. I'm lucky if I hit, 60 in this. But it's a good drive. The brakes aren't bad. The engine is, it runs, it's good. And the transmission shifts smoothly. But other than that, it's just, it doesn't have a lot of power, which you don't expect them to have a lot of power. You also don't expect, sorry about that, technical dilemmas. But what I was saying is it's not a bad car to drive. It doesn't have a lot of power. It's not supposed to have a lot of power. It's supposed to be a gas saver, which then again, it's not really that either. It gets about 28, 30 miles to the gallon maybe. And, my Corolla, my 2015 Corolla, which had a lot more horsepower, it was a lot safer. It got, I averaged around 35 to 40 in that. And so, it doesn't do really any one thing well. I could understand if it was not powerful and good on gas. It's based largely off Fiat design. So Zestiva made it under Fiat license, and it's basically a Fiat, which is good because that means parts are readily available. But all the mechanical parts are available. All the stuff that I can't find is like door handles, window cranks, stuff like that. I had to buy a whole nother car just to get the front emblem that goes on the front of my hood. I mean, that's the stuff you just can't find. I also can't find a spare key for it, like a blank, so I only have one key. So go ahead and say this it's not maybe, this is my favorite car of all time. I love this car. I love everything about it. I love the quirkiness. I love the weirdness. I love the looks I get while driving it. And I mean, hell, I even love the badness. I just love it. I love weird cars. I mean, you give me an old Corvette or old Mustang, yeah, I'll drive it, but I'd much rather drive something like this. It's a good car. I mean, that's just me. I actually have another Yugo at home that I'm going to be renovating soon, or restoring. Except I'm not really restoring it. I'm going to turn it into something else. But as the driving experience goes, it's not a bad driving experience. There's a lot of body roll in it, which is not something you want from a hatchback that weighs 1,800 pounds. But it feels like driving about 2008 Yukon XL. That's what it feels like you're driving, which it's not great. It doesn't have power steering, and so when I'm going, the steering's fine, but when you're still, it's pretty hard to move. See, and anytime I hit a hill, it doesn't deal with hills very well. And I think you can see behind me maybe that, the whole way there's been people behind me. It's been, like, I hit the hill, I'm in third gear, pedal to the metal, it won't, build power. And there's a lot of quirks that are, that come with owning a Yugo. Like the transmission. If you've never driven one, or if you've never driven anything this bad, it just feels like complete crap, which it may be. I mean, the play in the shifter is, I probably got 8 inches of wiggle room when it's in gear, and that's just something you have to deal with. You learn the gears. Another thing that I was fairly surprised about is the steering wheel. There's no play in it. I have a 2000 Chevy Silverado, and it has 306,000 miles on it. But it's that being a 2000, that's 15 years newer than this. That has about 4 inches of play in the steering wheel. This has absolutely none. It's when you turn the wheel, that's where you're going. So that was the Yugo. And to sum it all up, is it the worst car ever? No. Is it a good car? No. But it's a good daily driver. If you're not going to go far on the interstates, if you're just going to be around town, it's great. It's fun to drive. It's a driving experience like nothing else. So it's a good car. If you like this video, please subscribe. There's going to be a lot more car reviews coming, as well as more videos on my Yugo and all my other cars. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.